Dr. Bacote, this year we've had a couple of events relating to the criminal justice system. We've had the death penalty panel, and we've also booked coming up Don Porter to talk about public defendants and mass incarceration. So is there a method to this madness?
It's a great question, Drew. The plan was not this year to have a particular focus on criminal justice when we were talking about having a countercultural, not anti-cultural theme, but it coalesced around issues of criminal justice. So Don Porter's coming a couple of weeks, Harold Dean Trulier is coming a couple of weeks after that. We have the death penalty forum. And now, actually, we're thinking about doing something related to the issue of torture because we have David Iglesias on campus, who was the prosecutor for Guantanamo Bay. So we're going to try to see if we can put something together with that. So really, it's more like a synthesis of events that happened that kind of fell into our lap, really. And what these events wind up doing then is give us the opportunity in addressing criminal justice related issues to say, well, when we're talking about these things, what are ways when Christians are thinking about how to respond to this? What are ways to do this that are perhaps countercultural but not anti-cultural? And they're countercultural not because they're obscure or because they're the kind of responses that people lacking in sense would take, but they're countercultural in the sense that perhaps there's a level of discernment that is characteristically Christian that is expressed in our responses to these ranges of issues. It's certainly an opportunity to think about things, particularly like the death penalty in torture, where there are some Christians that talk about these things, but in most of our churches, these aren't the conversations that people are having.
Well, Dr. Bacote, what's one or two things that you hope students will take away from this barrage of similarly themed events this year?
I think one of the things is the question that I raised at the death penalty forum. And I think one of the big things about that is if we're really committed to justice, what does it mean for a Christian to actually be committed to justice? And to think about how justice is done from the standpoint of those who actually are being processed by the criminal justice system, whether it's to the death penalty or whether it's for lesser crimes. Do we really care about those people as people who are made in the image of God? Let's even assume that they're guilty of the thing for which they are charged. Does the fact that they're guilty mean that we can say it doesn't matter whether we actually act justly in the way we administer justice? To me, that's one of the biggest things, to raise that question. The second thing that I hope people will take away is the fact that this is a lot more complex than just whatever political party you're a part of or whichever pundits you like listening to. It's much more complex than that. And one of the reasons it's more complex is because actual people are involved, actual cases are involved, the circumstances of these things are not all the same. And we need to attend to and give the proper nuance to the fact that there's all kinds of variables here. And if there are all kinds of variables here, are we really going to be people who say, I need to give proper attention to this, and I need to be concerned about the people that are administering this? I mean, your lawyers, your judges, and all the other people that are involved in that system. So I think that there's an opportunity here to be more attentive than we might be, and also perhaps to have more humility about the kind of opinions we express about the way that things are being administered in our society.